Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending December 14th, 2022. I've been asked to comment on a situation currently happening in Brampton. Basically, buyers bought pre-construction and now closing is fast approaching, and a whole lot has changed since when they signed the contract to buy versus now. Bottom line is that they're not qualifying or having a very, very difficult time qualifying for their mortgage. A whole bunch of things have changed. Interest rates have changed, making their monthly affordability payments go way up, and home prices have changed, so what these homes are appraising at is much less than what they bought for. It's a very, very unfortunate situation, but it's the reality of the situation today in this real estate economic market that we're in. On the resale side of things, I've spoken about this many times through the course of this year. It's something that we experience also on the resale side of things. You buy a property, come time to close, things change. The buyer, it could be a personal change, it could be a market change, but the reality is this. You sign a contract, both parties, sellers and buyers, are obligated to fulfill the contents of that contract. And if it means on such and such a date you're closing, you got to pay for the property. Unfortunately, that's the reality of things. Now, on the resale side of things, sometimes it's a little bit easier to maneuver or find a solution or reach a compromise because it's a buyer dealing with a seller and both sides are affected. It's not a guarantee that you could renegotiate on the resale side of things and find a compromise, but sometimes we've seen that it is possible, but it's not a guarantee. On the pre-construction side of things, it's an individual dealing with a large corporation. It's a whole different ballgame. Many people, unfortunately, in this situation, many of these buyers are going to be financially devastated, and that's the reality of things here. It's a risk buying something today and closing in the future. Now, on the resale side, the future sometimes is 1, 2, 3 months away. On pre-construction side, it's normally a lot longer. It's just not a guarantee. I know lots of people buy pre-construction and it's a passive way of investing, thinking, I buy today, 9 months, a year, 2 years, it'll be worth more, I'll sell it. Some of these people had no intention of even closing. They thought they would flip it on an assignment, so to speak. It's not working out in their favor, and now they're protesting, and it's a very, very serious situation. Unfortunately, this is the reality of investing in real estate. You really got to know what you're doing. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. So the situation I just spoke about with this pre-construction project in Brampton, it's not just isolated to that particular project. We're hearing this across the board, across the GTA. There's going to be more and more situations like this coming up as projects reach completion. It's a very serious situation. Let's get into the numbers here. I have a quick summary of average sold prices for Mississauga here in blue. Green is Brampton and the red is Durham region. And you can see where prices are kind of heading. They're looks like sloping slightly downwards. I'm going to start off with Mississauga. This is for week ending December 14th, broken down by week for a whole year. 18 detached properties were sold across Mississauga for week ending December 14th. That's not a lot. We did 18 also the previous week. So sales are coming down. A lot of that is just seasonal, but also we are way off the pace of where sales were last year. So 18 were sold. 2 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price for week ending December 14th for Mississauga for detached properties is $1,344,000. $1,344,000 is 15% lower than last year's average sold price for the same week ending. The median price of $1.3 million is 17% lower than last year's median price. The dotted line here, that's a 4-week moving average. And it helps, you know, when we look at the 4-week moving average, it makes it easier, simpler to spot a trend. And when we look at that, we can see over the span of about 2.5 months, average sold price has gone slightly up, slightly down. It's kind of even. Median price is, you could see it kind of sloping down. And that's the trend. Over the last 2.5, 3 months, prices for Mississauga have generally either stayed the same or sloped down. But that's all of Mississauga. Different neighborhoods are reacting different. This is just a general idea of the real estate picture in Mississauga. Of the 18 that sold, it's not a lot, 6% sold at list price or more. Just a comparison, the same time last year, 76% were selling at list price or more. But that was a year ago. We're in a whole different world right now. Year to date, we have 38% fewer sales this year of detached properties versus last year. We have 6% fewer listings this year versus last year, year to date. Months of inventory for Mississauga is sitting at 3.4 months of inventory. Here's Brampton. 30 detached properties were sold in Brampton. No property sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price is $1,095,000 for week ending December 14th. $1,095,000 is 25% lower than last year's average sold price. You could see last year at this time, the blue, that's last year's average sold price. Prices were going one way, which is up. This year, they're going the other way. When we look at the median price of $1,050,000, that's 22% lower than last year's median price. Year to date, we have 48% fewer sales of detached properties this year versus last year. 48% fewer sales and 12% fewer listings. Months of inventory for Brampton is sitting at 2.9 months of inventory. Here's Durham. Now for Durham, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. 28 detached properties were sold. No properties sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price is $1,036,000. That's for week ending December 14th. $1,036,000 is 18% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price of $1,010,000 is 17% lower than last year's median price. We have 34% fewer sales this year versus last year and 3% fewer listings for the Durham region. Months of inventory starting to climb. It's now sitting at 2 months of inventory. Here's condos. Now this is for all of Peel region. 19 condos were sold. That's not a lot of condo sales in 1 week. So 19 were sold, only 19. Average sold price has been coming down. It's now sitting at $558,000. $558 is 13% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price of $530 is 14% lower than last year's median price. Looking at the 4-week moving average, we can see prices have been coming down. Year-to-date sales, we have 39% fewer condo sales this year versus last year. We have 1% fewer listings. So listings are basically on par from where they were a year ago. Months of inventory for condos in Peel region, you could see months of inventory been going up. It's now sitting at 5 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary. Now, between 4 to 6 months, it's technically a balanced market. However, because we're coming from such a high, yes, I know it's almost a year ago now, at the beginning of the year, but I mean, people still have it in their mind, and if you've been out there for a while looking for properties, you're still sometimes involved in bidding wars, and you're still property selling over asking. Well, anything approaching 3 months of inventory or so is going to feel like a balanced market. Technically, it's at 4 months, but it's going to feel like a balanced market. Condos are approaching a buyer's market, actually, over 6 months. We're sitting at 5 months there. So, look, we're heading into the holiday season. We do expect sales to come down. There's still transactions that are going to happen, and it's so important that you're working with somebody that can really help you navigate and understand what's going on in the neighborhood of interest for you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.